Hello, colleague friends. I hope you're doing really well. I know that this video is live on Christmas Eve, 2019, and don't know how many people will be on here live, and that's okay for me. I just wanted to talk about giving yourself permission to be good with what's working and how you do your work, and considering maybe changing the things that don't work. And for those of you who don't know me very well, my name is Tracy Brown. I'm a somatic non-diet dietitian and a tuning specialist. I've been doing eating disorder and health at every size non-diet work since 2006 as well, and started my trauma training in 2011. So been quite a ride, and I've learned a lot. And so today I want to talk to you all about, and please feel free whenever you watch this video over, if you're taking some time off this week, to check this video out, because I really just want this video to be a gift to you. Not me offering anything except for my encouragement and to share transparently that it's okay to want something different. So everybody watching live, thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching the replay, just put replay below if you have any questions or comments, something you want some support with how you do your work, then let me know. So this video is a gift video about giving you permission to do things differently. And so I just want to share a little background real quick of why I'm doing this video, and then I'll get into the scary things I'm doing right now. And I'm lounging here on the lanai, so it's kind of a really nice day. It's very windy, which is why I have the earphones in to make sure you can hear me. So it's really super windy and cool for Florida in winter. It's by no means cold at all. It's just barely cold enough to be wearing this long sleeve here outside, and not really. It's just snuggly. But anyway, so I was trained to do, pretty much 50 to 60-minute sessions, and for most people, that was enough, for sure. And I found that I could do the excavating work, and people felt like they got enough. Occasionally, I have clients that need just check-ins, and usually those are like teenagers or people who are doing really well but just still need some support. So occasionally, back then I did 30-minute sessions at the beginning. For the first 8 years, everything was pretty typical, 50 to 60 minutes, occasional 30-minute sessions for the youngsters. That's about it. And that was effective, and that worked for me, I think for our clients. And seeing me either weekly or every other week for the course of probably, if we were lucky, they stayed 3 months. Or not lucky, but I felt like if everything was right, people would stay for as long as they needed. If that was a year and a half, 2 years, that's what they stayed. Sometimes it was shorter, and I didn't feel like they were quite done yet. But, we are all just pieces on somebody's journey anyway, so it's fine. But anyway, that seemed to work. Now, a few people needed longer sessions, and sometimes I said, okay, let's do it. And these would be people who had a really hard time getting grounded and kind of would spin, and it took a long time for them to really land in the session. And then by the time they were ready, there's like 30 minutes left or 20 minutes left. And I'm pretty good at redirecting people, so I wouldn't let people kind of go on too long and get too lost in the story. But sometimes that's just what needs to happen. Anyway, if I had time or I had a cancellation or whatever, or we prearranged it, you could do longer sessions. And so I just want you to check in as you're watching this. I want you to tune into yourself. Is the length of your sessions feeling right? Are you able to cover kind of either like an agreed upon agenda in that 50 to 60 minutes? Is 50 to 60 minutes feeling too long for you? Or is that feeling just right? Or maybe that you need more time? Just kind of check in with that, with how you do your work now. I'd love to hear from you about that. Or if that's not what you do at all, because I'm going to share with you what I'm shifting to in a second. And the fear point of that is that feeling good? Or is that not feeling quite enough? Or does something need to change? And tune in, is that feeling like it's maybe the kind of clients that you have and the content that you cover? Now, some of you are doing what I consider pretty traditional nutrition therapy, which is, how are you doing? Kind of checking in, and then seeing if they have a jumping off place of what either is a challenge or what's going really well. I always ask people, unless I know they're in some, I wouldn't say total not the chaos isn't the right word, but if they're really struggling and they come right into the struggle, that's fine. But most of the time I try to like elicit some what's going good, because our clients hardly ever focus too much on what they're accomplishing or what's going good. But anyway, after you've done that, I used to do that. After I did that, kind of dive into some content and then work quickly into process. And then it would kind of meander where it goes. And if we got off track, come back. I mean, just the dance, nutrition therapy. If you don't know what that looks like, please contact me and we need to talk about that. Whether you listen to my case study series to hear and watch and read some of that, how that looks and feels. I don't do a lot of content. Content would be like I'm teaching about protein, or teaching about the nuts and bolts of like the hunger fullness chart, or going through like the pros and cons of thinness. I mean, because I get a little process and content, but I do a lot of process, which is how do they know in their bodies? What's that like? What more needs to happen? What's too much? What's not feeling enough? And really getting in there. Sometimes obviously the question, what's that like for you? What's that feel like? But sometimes I don't use feeling words. I use a lot of I want to know if they can't name what that's about. What does that mean to you? Where do you know in your body that something doesn't feel right, or is too much or not enough? And sometimes if you can get to that sensation, then we can get to the story. And then that story will shape, how come the food is happening the way it's happening? And then you get back to the food part. So it's like this nice little kind of, instead of a straight line, because some people can't go a straight line, it stays too cognitive, and it's just like, I don't know how come I did what I did with my food. We make a little arc and back to where we got to go. Anyway, the point of that is sometimes an hour session is enough. So, but when I started doing somatic work, and I guess we're working on this is 2019. I started like in the fall of 2011. So now we're kind of going past my 8th year. And especially when I started just really diving into supervision, I noticed that a lot of the somatic people I was training with in individual supervision, they all did 75-minute sessions. And as these years have gone by, I've done 75-minute sessions. I found that like probably 50% of my time, we were starting to veer that direction. And I'm like, I don't think I can keep it in this old framework of 50 to 60 minutes. And nobody was keeping me in that, by the way, besides myself, but just because that's the way I was trained. And why I'm sharing this with all, because I'm getting ready to basically probably offer and have 80 to 90% of my clients move to 75-minute sessions. Here's why. Is because the same kind of work needs to happen. The content work of nutrition and movement and supplements, and if there's any medical stuff going on that needs just me to touch base on, or if there's something I can offer. Sometimes we're doing some triage work of helping them find the right doctor, or get to those kind of resources. But most of the time, I'm finding that as I explore more about what's happening in the body needs more time. It's like body time unfolds slower than us cognitively talking. And so while that's not scary for me, I also feel like I can feel like there's that little part in me. And I'm just speaking out loud so you can know that like I don't have it all together. There are things that I struggle with in terms of like mindset around certain things. And maybe your mindset stuff is around money and fees and feeling like you're worth what charging what you're worth with quotation marks. That's always relative. It's kind of a process to get there. For others, it's you feel good about what you charge, but you kind of like overgive. Maybe that's an issue. So for me at this point, it's like getting to the place where I don't overgive in between sessions now. Gotten to the place where I think my fees are pretty good, but I think I need to change my sessions and how I structure it. And that's kind of hard because it means that I am, going to raise my fees again, even though there's going to be more time. So the value is going along with the price. It's just new territory. It means I'm kind of being official that we are doing all that kind of work, and that's the expectation. And that will mean some people don't like that. And I think that's where I'm like, not that people don't need it. But, and the reason I'm saying this because there's some fear I've already had of a person or so not want that. They do kind of want to stay on the surface of things. So that means that I'm kind of making some decisions about, am I making exceptions, or to give people what they want, even though I don't think it's in their best good. And is that up for me to decide? Or is it just, you know, sessions in the different parts? And I'm still trying to figure that out, but I want you to know that it's okay to be with uncertainty. I'm saying I'm not sure how this is going to go when I fully like everybody knows that I'm transitioning my practice to be more longer sessions, more time to like get really grounded in the session, let some material unfold, weave the nutrition, the attuned eating, the movement stuff with uncoupling from the body sensation that's stuck. Because that's just kind of where things are going for me and what my interests are, and a lot of people are coming to me for that. And I can provide that service and that value. But it's just not easy to do something new, even though you're really excited and want to do it. So I just want to share this little gift video with you of my process and trying to figure out what's going on here. And when I say going on here, like, you know, sometimes you know where you want to go, how you want to do it, what's it even going to look like. But it's the unknown of, like, you know, what's going to happen and people are going to be okay with it. That's kind of what we worry about. But here's my medicine for this for myself, is the worst thing that will happen is I go back to what I do, which is 50 to 60 minute sessions, like 80% of the time. And then some sessions are 75 minutes. The people who are really like, that's all they want. They don't want to go back to the traditional stuff. So I hope this video helps you. It's kind of a little gift into the insight of like where I am at right now. I can't wait to talk to you more about how that's going as the next quarter unfolds in the next 6 months, and what that means for clients' trajectory in their recovery, what that means for what I get to share with you in terms of training, and how to see how that works, you know. So thank you all so much for watching. If you're going through a similar, like you're feeling pulled to do something and you've gotten clear that like this isn't out of reaction or out of fear or out of trying to do too many things at once. I've been training for a long time, so I don't feel like that's the case for me about like how to do the work, and not doing it out of like scarcity or not enough clients or things like that. It's just feeling like that's the next phase. And I always get kind of curious. Some people, and people always say like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So things aren't really broken, but I just feel the pull on me for the next thing, the next iteration. And some people, this is where I question myself, like, gosh, I know nutrition therapists have been doing things the same way, same community, same thing for like 30 years. And they seem to be pretty content. And I'm like, is something wrong with me? I do that too. It's not a comparing out of negativity. It's like, is it some dissatisfaction in me going on? And maybe that's the case, and maybe that's okay. That it's time for me to do something and not blow it up, but just shift it a little bit to provide what I feel like that I'm here to do. And so I don't compare. I just think like, okay, there may be other places in their life that I don't see and that I don't know about where that continued becoming is happening. It's just maybe not happening in how they do their work. And that's awesome. And I don't need to compare. So I hope this video helps you. If you have anything that like this that you feel like, gosh, I've been waiting for somebody to say this kind of stuff, like they're scared but they're doing it anyway, or like just anything about how you're doing your business, the skills you have in your business, when you start doing more body image work and it feels uncomfortable, please share how that is, because who wants to be alone? You don't need to be alone. Private practice, or even when I've worked in like facilities where, you know, there's lots of therapists and other professionals around me. Sometimes I was the only dietitian, or only one of a couple, but we never got to talk because we were always just too busy. Let's let this be a space. And I know we're not always, I don't think we're always pretty busy. I know we're not super action-packed here, but I wanted this to be more of a community feel versus always just sharing cognitive information. So I would love this to be a space where we're getting some time to process what, what we're navigating in our journeys as nutrition therapists and non-diet practitioners. So love to hear from you. What are you working on? Where you're stuck? What you're hopeful for in 2020? And if there's something that you've been feeling really strongly urged to do, what is it? And how might you know? Like, where's the knowing that that's what's next? I've just got some blocks to work through, and I want to hear about those. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a holiday for a lot of people, not for everybody, but some people. And whenever you watch this, I would love to hear your feedback about it. So thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye for now.